What is going on, guys? This is Brad with despitefitness. Today is June 8th. It is a Monday, and it's my genuine belief that Mondays, they suck. They are like the furthest day of the week from the weekend, from, you know, enjoying the weekend. And yeah, they suck. So, to try to get out of the suck, we are putting ourselves further into the suck. And so today we're doing some squats. So as you can see back over here, I've got the safety squat bar set up. And I think you might be able to see, yeah, you can see here, I got some bands. Not a lot of band tension, right? Just a little bit of band tension. And so I'm introducing Mike to some band work. Now we've done some stuff with bands up to this point, doing more like of a push down and some other stuff, some accessory type stuff. But I haven't yet introduced bands into the main movement yet. So today is kind of the first day doing that. Doing it for a couple of reasons. So Mike decided to go out and get into the sun and not use the proper PPE of sunscreen or a fucking shirt. And so he got himself cooked like a lobster. And anyhow, so his back is a bit sensitive. So we decided to opt for the safety squat bar just to kind of alleviate bar rash, but it also benefits me a lot too because as I've mentioned before, I'm still dealing with my quad injury. It isn't really bugging me so much on a day-to-day basis, or as I move around in my daily goings on, but it is. I know that it's there. There have been a few things, a movement, a step up or whatever, where I kind of feel it still. So I know that I'm not like out of the woods in terms of injury. So for me, safety bar squat is a great idea because I can set up these pins and basically set up a Hatfield squat. So if you guys aren't familiar with a Hatfield squat, you're going to see us doing those today. So we're doing Hatfields with some bands. For me, it's going to help me control and get through full range of motion and support myself so that I can basically kind of gauge the leg. But I'm putting myself through full range of motion and some load, and then the bands are on there just to kind of create a little bit of instability and just for a little bit added stress. Also for Mike, the reason why I threw the bands on is again for that a little bit extra instability to force him to brace a little bit more and just add that extra layer of stress in a way that we haven't done it yet. So it's just kind of a new element. So I figured it'd be a way to have a good kind of fresh input or stimulus, something that he hasn't done yet, but something that's a little bit fun, a little bit different, so that even though I'm dealing with significantly lighter weight than I would like to, it can still be kind of an enjoyable and good workout. So that's kind of what we're looking to do. So Mike will be working with some 10s. I'm basically going to be working with whatever Mike's weight is, because I'm not hyper concerned about how much weight I'm doing. I just want to provide some stress, and I want to go through full range of motion, and I very much want to avoid pain. So that's what today is. So yeah, so hopefully you kind of stick around, check out some Hatfields and whatever else we may get up to today, and hopefully I can turn the case of the Mondays around and have a good day. Gonna be doing some lifting and drinking, so that'll be kind of fun. And yeah, lifting and drinking. Yeah, lifting and drinking. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good times.
He says he doesn't want to have pain.
Yeah. So you make the pain go bye-bye with pain go bye-bye juice.
Good juice.
Good juice.
It would be painful for me either way.
All right, so we're gonna get started to get into it. Hopefully you guys stick around. I'd like to ask you on the front end of this, if you do like the videos, like, share, subscribe. That'd be very nice. And if you want to see what I'm up to on a more regular basis, more like day-by-day kind of stuff, also check out my Instagram and follow me on there, because I post a little bit more regularly than I do posting videos, because I don't have to edit so much. Hey. All right, anyway, so here we go. Let's do it. Yeah, we'll set it like that. All right, so Mike's got the idea to kind of talk about the Hatfield squat and what we're doing. So this bar is known as the safety squat bar. There are a number of areas, companies that you can buy from, right? So Elite FTS, you can find them on Rogue, you can find it on Titan. So there are many companies that make this kind of a bar. I actually don't know the brand of this bar because I bought this bar used from somebody that was selling a whole bunch of equipment. And I just got it as part of the sale. But irrespective of the brand, it does the trick. So yeah, so we got this. We got our pin set up here as a handhold, and I got a little bit of band tension. My objective for this, for me here, is just moving slow and fluid through the movement, just full range of motion, and I'm going to be moving slower than normal because I'm really trying to push blood flow. I also have my leg banded up for some compression, so this isn't super tight. It's just a little bit of compression on the spot that hurts, just to kind of give me that support, and if nothing else, that mental feeling of having something there, right? A little bit of a safety net, as it were. So here we go. I like to have my stance maybe even like at or maybe a little bit more narrow than how I normally squat. And I'm just going to try to keep my chest up because the way that this bar is designed, it wants to roll forward. So this bar, especially as you get heavier, will try to roll through your head. So I'm just trying to keep that high chest. Work on that back strength, that core tightness, and just keeping that bar controlled. And I'm going to go ahead and squat. So you can see the bands deload, but then they come back on as I start to stand up. And that's just providing me a little bit extra tension, kind of helping to pull me down to the ground, and then providing a little bit more resistance as I stand. So just moving controlled through the movement, just trying to get some blood flow, helping to facilitate healing in the leg, providing some measure of stimulus, but not so much where I really run the risk of getting hurt again.
Real big, I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cards is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to before you count me.
So I'm doing a little bit different than what I've been doing. So I've been using the voodoo floss, and I've talked about that compressive bit, but there's also kind of the blood flow restriction piece as well. And so I have two voodoo flosses on each leg, or one on each leg, real high. You can see my band package here. So real high up, and it's going to have a tourniquet-like effect on my legs. And so I am trying to cut off blood flow. There is some research to indicate that the blood flow restriction training, some of you may be familiar, some maybe not, but basically blood flow restriction training has demonstrated to have similar training effect with much lighter weight using the blood flow restriction as you would get with like heavier training without the blood flow restriction, right? So you get the same kind of exhaustive effect on the muscle tissue and can get the similar type of development growth as heavier training, right? And so obviously because I'm injured right now, I'm not going to go super heavy, but I'm just using a quick set for this blood flow restriction just to kind of get force some blood out. So I'm cutting off blood. I'm going to hit some movement, and then I'm going to take them off, and then my body's going to slam a bunch of blood into my legs. And I'm hoping that will have a rehabilitative effect and regenerative effect on the tissue that's been damaged, right? So blood heals. So that's kind of what I'm doing, is I'm trying different methodologies to stimulate blood flow into my legs and promote healing. Yeah, feel the pump in the leg from that blood flow restriction. Now I gotta find the ends of it and pop them off. Whew. Yay! It's like cinematography.
Right.
Or something. All right, hey, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and close down the video. It is a while after we've been done training, but Mike and I, we're just kind of hanging out, shooting the shit, and then running a couple errands or whatever. So just want to put a close down, or wrap up to this video here. And the thing that I think is most interesting is kind of like what we did today. But I think what's most interesting is hearing Mike's perspective on what we did. So what I'd like is for Mike to kind of talk with you guys a little bit about his experience with what we did today, being the safety squat bar, which was his first time ever using it, using the resistance bands on the main movement, so using them on the squat and what he thought about that, and then also on one of his squats there, the last set, he did the occlusion wrap on both of his legs there to kind of experience that. So I'd like for him to be able to relate to you guys kind of how he felt, just as maybe like a new user, so that you guys can get some sense of perspective on what his opinions were.
So I think the biggest thing with the safety squat bar was really having that ability to understand like the right positioning and the right technique in utilizing that before, and then using the bands around the legs and how much really the pressure and the technique was like you could feel like your muscles just really tensing up and really getting pressure. But even when using the bands with the safety squat bar was really like having the stability muscles to do that stuff, and we weren't using a lot of weight,
Right.
which is, you know, it really let me know that my stability muscles were not as strong as that they could be or they need to be,
Right.
doing stuff like that. So it was very like it was very eye-opening just to utilizing 135 pounds, you know, after that. So
Yeah. So with you know, using those bands, the resistance bands on that main movement, you know, there is a lot of stabilization that has to come into that. And so if you aren't acclimated to using the bands, you know, the initial reaction for unracking that weight with the bands on there is, you know, some shaking and oscillation. So you start to lose control of the barbell. And so what Mike was referring to is it just demonstrating that, right? And really highlighting the importance and the necessity of stabilization and being able to properly brace and control the weight. And so, you know, if you're seeking to improve your bracing and your stabilization, some band work could be a very good thing for you to be able to help stimulate some of those accessory and supplementary muscles to help you control that weight better. And then once you're able to bring those under control and utilize those at will, it really makes controlling weight that much easier. So there's that. With that safety squat bar, changing the center of gravity where that bar sits changes how it targets and works the muscles. And so Mike really felt that too, feeling like it was really putting a lot of strain on the quads. You know, so and it does. How it sits, it hits the muscle groups differently. And so you have to imagine if you perform a movement differently, it's going to hit the muscles and your body's going to respond differently. So that's good because it adds a little bit of change, a little bit of variety, and that's good. And then using that occlusion as well, right? Like being able to tie off that blood supply and kind of choke that muscle off and go through that range of motion. Really, like you get that really intense pump. And so
big time.
you can really feel it. It feels like the muscles are about to explode. And so, like I said, some research has indicated that there is some correlation to using that occlusion training and it having a training response similar to utilizing heavier weights. And so right now, dealing with that injury, not really feeling safe or capable of using those heavier weights, that occlusion training was a good thing I felt to kind of add in. So threw a lot of new stuff at Mike today, but I feel like it was good. It was a fun workout, added some new stuff, a little bit of variety, things that you never saw. And so hopefully for you guys that are out there, just the idea of adding new things in, just a little bit of variety, a little bit of freshness to your workouts can really go a long way and really open up new doors for you and maybe freshen up your training and make you feel a new kind of way about what it is you're doing. So when you feel like maybe your workouts are getting kind of stale, you know, look for a little bit of variety, try to add something in, and you might surprise yourself with what you're able to find and how you may enjoy it. All right, that's it, guys. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, go ahead and drop in the chat box below. I'll be sure to respond. I do appreciate you guys continuing to support me in the channel with all of the views, the likes, the shares, Means a lot, guys. If you haven't subbed up, you've seen a video or two, I wish that you would. It'd be nice to have you stick around and join the family for at least a period of time. So, consider subscribing if you haven't subbed up already. And moreover, if you know people who might enjoy the channel, I would appreciate it if you share the channel with them as well. Remember, guys, no matter what it is you think you can't do, like add a little bit of variety in to your workout and try something a little bit different, a little outside the comfort zone, you got to get in, train despite. You're either going to find an excuse, you're going to find a way, and I hope that you guys continue to find the way. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Real big, I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finished his bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to before you